Disclaimer: this audio recording includes subtitles so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace. Is lying always wrong? Is justice the same everywhere? Can one culture's right be another's wrong? In this video, we explore moral relativity, the idea that what we believe is right or wrong isn't fixed, but shaped by culture, history, and experience. From free speech to religious dress, gender roles to environmental ethics, we break down how different societies see morality through completely different lenses. Featuring real-world examples, global perspectives, and insight from philosopher Gilbert Harman, this isn't about who's right. It's about why we think we're right. Before we start, if you're the kind of person who loves questioning the world, challenging assumptions, and seeing things from new angles, hit that like button to boost the convo, and subscribe so you don't miss the deep stuff we're dropping here. Because we're just getting started, is there a universal moral truth? Or is morality shaped by culture and experience? Across the world, people live by vastly different moral codes. In the U.S., freedom of speech is a constitutional right, even if it offends. In Thailand, criticizing the monarchy can lead to 15 years in prison. In the Netherlands, euthanasia is legal, seen as a dignified choice. In many other countries, it's condemned as murder. In India, eating beef is taboo for many Hindus. In Argentina, beef is a national pride and everyday staple. These aren't just quirky differences, they reflect deep moral frameworks. So who's right? Who's wrong? Or are we asking the wrong question? Imagine a high school debate in two different countries. The topic: is it ever right to lie to protect someone you love? In a school in Japan, most students say no, lying damages honor and trust. But in a school in Brazil, students say yes, protecting family comes first, even if it means bending the truth. Same question, same human emotions, two completely different moral answers. This is the heart of moral relativity, the idea that what's right or wrong isn't set in stone. It's shaped by culture, experience, and the moral systems we grow up in. Let's take a closer look and challenge what we think we know about right and wrong. Have you ever disagreed with someone, not over facts, but over what's right? Maybe your friend says cheating on a test is okay if everyone does it. Or someone tells you it's wrong to drink alcohol, not because it's illegal, but because it's immoral. These aren't just opinions. They come from deep moral roots, shaped by upbringing, religion, education, and culture. Now imagine these differences on a global scale. Should countries allow same-sex marriage? Should the death penalty be abolished? Should women be required to wear certain clothing in public? Each of these debates pits one moral system against another. And here's the twist: each side truly believes they're doing the right thing. That's what makes understanding moral relativity so hard and so important. We're not just talking about what people believe, but why they believe it. We assume our morals are common sense, but to someone else, they might seem completely foreign or even offensive. Here's the big question: if morality is relative, does that mean anything goes? Not quite. Moral relativity doesn't mean we can't disagree. It just means we should understand first, before we judge. It's about moving from "you're wrong" to "I see where you're coming from, and here's why I see it differently." In a world that's more connected and divided than ever, this mindset matters. It helps us work across cultures, form deeper relationships, and challenge our own blind spots. And who knows, you might even come out with a more thoughtful version of your own beliefs. Pause for a second. What's one moral belief you hold strongly, and where do you think it came from? Culture? Religion? Your family? Drop it in the comments. Let's see how diverse and similar we really are. Now let's take a look at how moral beliefs shape some of the biggest issues around the world, and how those beliefs aren't always aligned. In the United States, justice often means individual rights. You're innocent until proven guilty, and punishment is supposed to be proportional. But in Saudi Arabia, justice is guided by Sharia law, where punishment may include public lashings or amputations for crimes like theft. To outsiders, this can seem extreme. But within that system, it's seen as divinely justified and morally correct. In Sweden, gender equality is seen as a moral cornerstone. Parental leave is shared, and women lead in politics and business. In parts of Afghanistan, traditional gender roles are considered sacred. Some communities believe women's honor is tied to modesty, silence, and separation from men. Again, These aren't just rules. They reflect deep moral commitments about respect, duty, and virtue. Among many indigenous tribes, the environment isn't just a resource, it's a relative. Cutting down a tree without spiritual permission can be a moral violation. But in industrialized nations, moral responsibility may revolve around economic growth, job creation, or even individual recycling habits. For some, building a factory is progress. For others, it's a betrayal of the earth. These examples aren't about who's right or wrong. They show how morality itself is shaped by cultural stories, traditions, and goals. What's considered fair, honorable, or responsible is filtered through different lenses shaped over centuries of history. The takeaway? When we clash over moral issues, we're often not just disagreeing on what to do. We're living inside different moral universes. Here's a real-life example of moral relativity at work. In France, a law bans wearing full-face veils, like the burqa, in public spaces. The government argues it's a matter of secular values, gender equality, and social cohesion. But for many Muslim women, wearing the burqa is a religious duty and a deeply moral act of modesty and faith. So which moral code wins? France sees it as protecting human rights. Muslim women see it as a violation of their human rights. This is the complexity of moral judgments in action. Both sides claim the moral high ground, but they're using different moral frameworks. This is exactly what philosopher Gilbert Harman wants us to understand. He argues that there is no single moral truth, because morality itself is a kind of cultural invention, not a discovery like gravity or DNA. According to Harman, when someone says, "That's wrong," they're not stating a fact. They're expressing a moral stance that makes sense within their own culture or value system. Think of morality like a set of rules in a game. The rules make sense if you're playing the same game, but they might seem completely bizarre or unfair to someone playing a different one. That's why Harman says, there is no single true morality, just many moralities, each shaped by different needs, histories, and beliefs. So when we look at the burqa ban, we're not just watching a political debate. We're witnessing a moral collision, not because one side lacks ethics, but because each side is living inside a different moral world. Moral relativity isn't about saying everything is okay. It's about recognizing that what feels right to you might feel oppressive to someone else. And in a world as diverse as ours, that's not just philosophy, it's reality. So what have we learned? Morality isn't fixed. It's shaped by culture, experience, and history. What one society sees as just or good, another may see as harmful or wrong. Real-world conflicts, from dress codes to environmental policies, often come from these clashing moral frameworks. Philosopher Gilbert Harman challenges the idea of universal morality. He argues that there are many moralities, each valid within its own context. Understanding moral relativity doesn't mean we stop caring about right and wrong. It means we start by listening, asking questions, and realizing that our way isn't the only way. It's easy to judge, but it's more powerful to be curious. To say, tell me what you believe and why. The more we understand moral relativity, the better we can navigate a world full of difference. With more empathy, more humility, and maybe, just maybe, more peace. What's a moral belief you hold that someone else might see completely differently? Moral relativity can be challenging, but it's also a chance to see the world through someone else's eyes. What do you think? Is morality truly relative, or are there some values that should be universal? We'd love to hear your perspective. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more deep dives into faith, philosophy, and the questions that shape our lives. Thanks for watching, and keep thinking.